Hi, my name is Gail. I'm really nervous about doing this, but everyone else seems to be doing it. Excuse me for being in a dark car. Went outside the gym for my son to come out of his kickboxing class. I do this 3 nights a week. I just want to tell you maybe a bit about what life is like for someone with invisible illnesses. You know, those of us you see stepping out of a disabled car space and you think to yourself, why are they in the disabled space? They're not disabled, there's nothing wrong with them. But they've got the badge. And believe me, they've got the illness to go with the badge. I am 46 years old. Am I? Yeah, 46 years old. And when I was 24, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Had my thyroid removed. I had radioactive iodine treatment, which was an absolute pleasure. I'll tell you about that another time if you like. I then had, I think that was all the treatment I had for that one. They told me it was gone. They told me thyroid cancer never came back. So it was a very rare form of cancer. Never going to come back. I was very lucky. It was the good cancer. That's what they called it. All you out there that listen to and have had thyroid cancer will know it's the good cancer. And off I went to live my life. That was 2005 by the time it had finished. 2007, I tripped at my work and did a nice ballet turn as I tripped and fell flat on my back on a wooden floor and thought it was fine for the first hour or so. Got sent home because I was in a lot of pain. And then the next morning couldn't get up. Physically couldn't get out of bed. And I was staying with my parents at the time. Shouted on my mum. And I said, Mum, there's something wrong, I can't get out of bed. And she said, don't be silly, you're going to work. I said, no Mum, I can't get out of bed, I really can't get out of bed. And she pulled the covers off and she went to try and pull me and I was screaming and screaming and screaming in the pain. So she phoned the doctor. The doctor agreed to come out to see me. That was back when doctors did actually do things like that. He gave me an injection in my back and left. Didn't check to see if it worked, didn't check to see if it was okay, just left. So a couple of hours later my mum had to take the day off work to look after me. A couple of hours later it was still as bad. I was screaming, I just couldn't move. It was horrible. So phoned the doctor again. The doctor said, right, take her straight to the hospital. So my mum took me down to the hospital, which was absolutely jam-packed. No seats anywhere. There was literally nowhere to sit. And I was trying to hold in because there was loads of people there, loads of kids. So if I didn't want people to see how bad it was, but I couldn't stop. I was screaming. I was lying on the floor screaming because there was nowhere for me to sit, there was nowhere for me to lie, and I just had to lie on the floor and scream. And I remember other patients round about me saying, for goodness sake, I'll give up my place, let that girl go first, take her first, there's seriously something wrong with her. And eventually took me in. I still didn't get a bed when I got taken into a cubicle. I got a chair that I could kneel over. It really helped. They gave me another injection in my back. Still didn't work. Sent me home. We had another doctor come out. He went to give me an injection in the back. My mum says, don't bother. She said, too, they don't work. He's like, oh, there's nothing else I can do. Phoned our own doctor again in the morning and he then said, give me a minute. Went away, came back, he says, right, I've got a bed in such and such a ward. So I went in the hospital. And I was in the hospital about 2 weeks. They eventually did an MRI scan. And after the MRI scan, the doctor came and said to me, I'm really sorry. that you've been left in pain for this long. He said, you need surgery on your spine. He says, this is serious. And I was like, right, okay. He says, I'll be the one operating, we'll get it done, blah, blah, blah. Right, fine, great. Sent me home. A couple of weeks later, get a phone call saying that that hospital no longer doing spine surgery. It costs too much. They won't let them do it. I had to go into a waiting list in a hospital in Glasgow, which was going to take months and months more. And the consultant, the guy that was going to do the operation for Mum, says she doesn't have months. If they don't do this surgery now, she's never going to walk again. And that's how bad it had got. So we had to write to our local MP. The surgeon wrote to the local MP. A lot of neighbours. Thankfully, I lived in a small village that was very close, and they all wrote to the MP as well to say that they didn't want to see me being so ill. So thankfully, the MP got involved, and the NHS paid for me to go private. And I went to a private hospital in Glasgow to get my surgery done. And after 8 months of being in bed, not being able to walk, being in agony, the pain was in my back and down my left leg, and it was just horrendous. I had surgery for 4 hours, and they took me back to my room, woke me up. I hopped out of bed and started walking about. Still had the pain in my back, but I could walk, I could get up, I could move for the first time in 8 months. It was amazing. And I thought, right, okay, that's it. 2007, we're doing well, we're doing well. I thought, no, we'd moved into 2008, but then it took that long. And then I got a letter from the hospital saying to go for a checkup for my thyroid thing, because checkups every couple of months. I said, right, fine. Went for my checkup, took my blood, did all the usual. See you in a couple of months, not a problem. Got a letter a week later. We need you to come back. And I showed my mum the letter, and I said, Mum, it's back. And she said, no, that can't be, it can't be. I said, it is, it's back. I know it, I can feel it. I went back to the hospital, went to the appointment, sat down, looked at the doctor, and I said to her, it's back, isn't it? And she said, yeah. She said, it's back. This time I had to go for, I went for surgery at a different hospital. Excuse me while I have a drink, please. Went to a different hospital, and the doctor looked at all the charts and looked at all the things, and he said he was going to have to do an operation that he had never done before, that no one in that hospital had ever done before, and it was quite a dangerous operation. And he sat me and my mum down the night before the operation, and he said, there's one thing I need from you. He said he'd listed all the things that could happen, like lose the muscle tone in my face, I wouldn't be able to speak, I could lose my voice, the one side of my face or both sides of my face could be paralysed. There was a lot could happen because they were having to deal with all the muscles and stuff in here in my neck. And he said, with all this that's going on, he says, there's one thing I need from you. And I said, and what's that? He says, if something goes wrong, I need to know that you forgive me. And I looked at him and I said, of course I do. I said, if you try your best with me and something that goes wrong by mistake, or it's just one of these things that can't be helped, that has to be done, I said, then you've got my permission, carry on, and I'll forgive you for anything. So we booked in for surgery the next morning, taken down at 9 o'clock, told about by 1. When I was wheeled out the theatre, the theatre said, you doing okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing fine, I'm great, I've been asleep for ages, this is great. And I was like, what? Everything seems funny. They're like, oh, we better let your mum in. I said, why? I said, just been going on. Like, she's been phoning since 1 o'clock, and I'm like, she says, and then they all appeared at 5. And I'm like, what do you mean? What time is it? And she said, it's 8 o'clock. I'd been in surgery for 11 hours. My family were at the door panicking. And they all come running in, crying, and they looked at the state of me. I was swollen, disfigured. I had tubes coming out both my necks and 8 bags collecting all the fluid that was dripping out. My neck was swollen to about 4 times the usual size. It looked as if my head had been put on backwards. I've lost up the main veins and muscles in the right hand side of my neck. Lost all feeling across the top of my chest and top of my arms, down the top of my back. Can't feel anything. Oh, sorry, this is slipping. Oh dear me, we'll fix that, I suppose. So that was